The Bible tells a fascinating story in Genesis 6 about the sons of God taking wives from the daughters of men, resulting in the birth of giants known as the Nephilim. These beings were said to be mighty men, renowned warriors, and a source of great wickedness on the earth. Their presence ultimately contributed to God's decision to bring about the flood. While the flood wiped out much of humanity, some believe the Nephilim lineage may have survived. One compelling theory points to Ham, one of Noah's sons, and his wife as potential carriers of the Nephilim bloodline. Though not explicitly stated in the Bible, some interpretations suggest that Ham's wife, or possibly Ham himself, had ancestors among the Nephilim. This theory stems from extra-biblical texts like the Book of Yasha, or Sefer HaYasha, the Hebrew title of this book, which means the Book of the Upright, or the Upright or Correct Record. It is also referenced in the Bible in Joshua 10:12, 13, 2 Samuel 1:18, 27, and 2 Timothy 3:8. If true, this would mean the genetic remnants of the Nephilim were present on the ark, allowing them to re-emerge in the post-flood world. This possibility raises intriguing questions about the presence of Nephilim after the flood. Were they among the inhabitants of Canaan, the land God promised to Abraham's descendants? Did their presence influence the cultures and religions of the ancient Near East? These questions have captivated scholars and readers of the Bible for centuries. The mystery surrounding the Nephilim continues to fascinate us, blurring the lines between myth and reality. Watch until the end to unveil more mysteries and see how this connects the dots between the past, present, and future. Throughout the Old Testament, a mysterious figure appears known as the Angel of the Lord. This being is described as a messenger of God, appearing to key figures like Abraham, Moses, and Joshua. But there's more to the Angel of the Lord than meets the eye. This entity not only delivers messages, but also commands armies, performs miracles, and speaks with the authority of God himself. In the book of Exodus, the Angel of the Lord guides the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, parting the Red Sea and leading them to safety. In the book of Joshua, the Angel of the Lord appears as a military commander, leading the Israelites in battle against the Canaanites. And in the book of Judges, the Angel of the Lord appears to Gideon, promising victory against the Midianites. The Angel of the Lord is a fascinating and complex figure. Is this being simply a messenger, or is it something more? Many scholars believe the Angel of the Lord is a pre-incarnate appearance of Jesus Christ. This theory is supported by the angel's divine attributes, his authority to forgive sins, and his identification with Yahweh, God, in several passages. True angels do not accept worship, yet at the burning bush and at Jericho, the Angel of the Lord accepts worship as walking on holy ground. If true, it adds another layer to the narrative of the Nephilim. Could Jesus, in his pre-incarnate form, be the one leading the charge against the remnants of the Nephilim in the Promised Land? Original translations of Jude 1:5 say Jesus led his people out of Egypt. In the book of Daniel, the Angel of the Lord is seen as the fourth man walking in the flames of the fiery furnace, saving Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The book of Joshua recounts the Israelites' conquest of Canaan, the land God promised to Abraham and his descendants. This conquest was not without its challenges. The Israelites faced fierce opposition from various tribes inhabiting the land, including the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Interestingly, these tribes are often described as giants or descendants of giants, echoing the earlier accounts of the Nephilim. The Bible tells of specific giants the Israelites encountered: Og, king of Bashan, who had an iron bed over 13 feet long, and Goliath, the Philistine champion slain by the young David. These encounters suggest that the Nephilim, or at least their descendants, were present in Canaan during the time of the conquest. This raises the possibility that the Israelites' battles were not just against human enemies, but against the remnants of a supernatural race. The conquest of Canaan can be seen as a continuation of God's judgment against the wickedness of the Nephilim. By driving out and destroying these tribes, the Israelites were fulfilling God's command to rid the land of evil and establish a righteous nation. The presence of giants and their connection to the Nephilim adds a layer of spiritual warfare to the narrative, framing the conquest as a battle for the very soul of the promised land. Among the evil practices of the Canaanites were Baal worshippers who sacrificed their own babies to gain prosperity. Even though the Israelites were in Canaan first with Abraham, while they were held captive as slaves in Egypt for over 400 years, the inhabitants of the land grew with the sons of Anak, the Nephilim. During these 400 years, God gave warnings and grace for them to repent, but ultimately they continued in evil, which led to the events of history. Even today, whispers of the Nephilim echo through time, surfacing in modern reports and folklore. Tales abound of giant humanoid creatures sighted in remote corners of the world, often described as hairy, reclusive, and possessing superhuman strength. While many dismiss these accounts as folklore or misidentification, some believe they could indicate the continued existence of Nephilim descendants. One area of particular interest is the Solomon Islands, located in the South Pacific. Locals tell stories of giant creatures inhabiting the dense jungles, referring to them as Vunu Masalai, or giants of the forest. Even more intriguing are accounts from helicopter pilots and military personnel claiming to have seen giant beings moving through the jungle canopy. While concrete evidence remains elusive, these modern-day accounts tap into a primal fear and fascination with the unknown. They remind us of the mysteries that still linger beneath the surface of our world, hinting at the possibility that ancient legends may hold a kernel of truth. Could the Nephilim, or their descendants, still walk among us, hidden in the shadows, remnants of a time when giants roamed the earth? The answer, for now, remains shrouded in mystery. Recent UAP encounter whistleblowers report that these beings have been living under the earth all this time and lived here before us. Could this be remnants of the Nephilim or fallen angels? Despite the possibility of Nephilim existing after the flood, the biblical flood still accomplished its purpose. It destroyed the main threat of the corruption of Nephilim and saved humanity. To see this and evidence of the biblical flood, check out part 1 of How the Biblical Flood Shaped Our World.